Hey guys, Mel here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at what private corporate jet pilots make in Canada. Stay tuned. The company we're going to use as an example today is called AirSprint. It's a Canadian company that offers fractional jet ownership and management of private jet airplanes. For those of you not familiar, when it comes to the private jet world, you can either charter a jet, that is, you can rent the jet and the crew like you would rent an Uber or a taxi for when you need it, or you can buy the jet as a whole, like you would go to the dealership and buy a car and then you would own the car, or you can do what's known as a fractional ownership where you own a small fraction and many other people own other small fractions, and together you can own the entire jet. That actually lowers the cost of the jet ownership, and now you can use the jet for whenever you need it. You can think of it as you and your buddies pitching in money together to own, let's say, a boat, and now you can afford this big expensive boat together for a much cheaper cost, and you just pay for the part of the boat that you use whenever you use it. The fleet consists of 4 different types of airplanes: the Cessna Citation CJ2+, then the CJ3+, Embraer Legacy 450, and the Embraer Praetor 500. To get hired as a first officer, they're looking for 2,000 hours total time, 500 hours of pilot and command time, a commercial pilot's license with the IATRA exams written, or the airline transport pilot license written. For a captain, they're looking for 4,500 hours total time, 1,000 hours of pilot and command time, with an airline transport pilot's license. Okay, without further ado, let's move into the pay scales. I'll be honest, at the beginning it was a little confusing to understand the pay structure, but basically it is broken down into 3 parts. The first part is based on your position. Are you a captain or a first officer? The second part is based on the type of airplane you fly. Are you flying the smaller corporate jet or the slightly bigger corporate jet? And the third part is based on your rotation, your schedule. You can either work an 18 days on, 10 days off, 16 days on, 12 days off, or 14 days on, 14 days off. Basically, first officers start at $46,000 a year for the 14 days on, 14 days off schedule, and they can go as high as $61,000 a year for the 18 days on, 10 days off schedule. A CJ series captain can start as low as $76,000 a year for the 14 days on, 14 days off schedule, and get paid as high as $101,000 for the 18 days on and only 10 days off a month schedule. And finally, the legacy captain, you can get paid as low as $93,000 a year for the 14 days on, 14 days off, and as high as $123,000 a year for the 18 days on, 10 days off. You also get paid a per diem for every single hour you are away from base, which works out to $3 per hour to cover stuff like food, and an allowance of $1,560 per year to cover stuff like phone expenses or gratuities. When it comes to your schedule, you're basically always on reserve, meaning that if the company were to call you, you must show up at the airport fully dressed up in your uniform, ready to go within 90 minutes. And then you have 1 hour to prepare the aircraft for departure. The good thing the company does, however, is they don't force you to be at the airport the whole time you're on reserve. You can be at home, and then you just have to show up at the airport within 90 minutes when they do call you. Another cool thing about AirSprint is that you're allowed to bring your friends and family on what's known as repositioning flights. What repositioning flights are is, for example, if the company were to take a paid flight from Toronto to Vancouver, but now you have to bring the jet back to Toronto, there's no passengers on that sector, so you're allowed to bring your friends and family on that sector for free. Now let's look at some of the cons. And this could be a deterrent to some people, but it depends on how long you want to stay at the company. The company does charge what's known as a training bond. They call it a performance agreement, and this number could be as high as $45,000. Basically, if you leave before the 2-year agreement, you'll have to pay the $45,000 on a prorated basis. If you decide to stay more than 2 years, then you don't owe the company anything when you leave. This deters any pilot from getting trained on the aircraft and then leaving for another company, so that they want to make sure that they get their return on investment that they put into the pilot. Another con that I've heard is that if a pilot were to come in as a direct entry captain, they would face a penalty of a 10% pay cut until they achieve 500 hours of total time or 250 hours of jet time. So once you meet those metrics, which shouldn't be very long, the 10% pay cut will be removed and then you will have your complete pay. So there you have it, another pilot salary video. This is for a corporate jet company in Canada. Not all corporate jets pay the same, so you have to actually do your own research, but this gives you a general overview of what you can expect as a corporate jet pilot in Canada. As always, if you like this type of videos, subscribe, comment below, hit that like button because it really helps out, and I will see you next time. Take care.